2, 3. I'd like to welcome everyone to Story Sessions. Shaun, as you know, was born in the city. He was on the Pro Tour for 16 years. He won 19 professional titles. One of those a world title. A bunch of those titles right here at the Gunson 500 on our promenade. In 1999, he was labeled as one of 25 most influential surfers of the century. And in 2004 was labeled one of 16 of the greatest surfers of all time. So won't you welcome to Story Session stage number 3, Shaun Tomson.
Chasing the sun has got me on the run and I need direction. I need connection.
You know, in the world that we live in today, everyone, it's profit, sales and growth. Travis is just doing this for nothing, just doing it to hopefully stoke you guys up. So thanks so much. I really appreciate it. So before we get into your story, just fill us in a little bit about what you really connect with in terms of the history of this great sport that is surfing. You know, as a young boy, my hero growing up was Duke Kahanamoku. He was my hero, both from a swimming perspective and as I started getting into surfing from a surfing perspective. So that Hawaiian concept of honor and connection to the ocean and brotherhood and the spirit of aloha was sort of at the essence of my surfing experience. I've surfed the greatest waves in the world, and they just aren't as fun when you're surfing them by yourself. They aren't. When you're hitting that turn at the bottom, the waves are already standing up, and that's when you're taking off at pipeline, when it's at its most vertical, when it's at its absolutely most dangerous, and that is the ultimate test. When you swing around and it's just human power, there's no diesel, there's no gas, it's just you and your board and that deadly drop. It's, I think that's what defines you. You know, once I was able and I had this confidence to perform out there and sort of surf it differently, it became super important. And when you can do something well, whatever it is, it just builds you. It just gives you so much confidence for other stuff.
Never gonna come back.
You wrote in your book that you let your emotions and your pride rule your decision making, and for a whole year you fought switching over to the twin fin. You know, that wave, I mean, it sort of represented a turning point. Through the 70s, I really think that the boards that Spider Murphy was designing for me for Hawaii were so far advanced. It just sits on the foam ball really well. So I had these incredibly advanced boards. I could just sit back there and park back in the tube. These boards that Spider designed me, I think further back than anyone else at the time. And then what happened was I saw Mark Richards walk down the beach with this wacky piece of equipment. And he rode this wave, but it was like seeing the future. You know, some of the waves, like they just take you back to that time when it was just it was so pure and free. And as surfers, you know, we are so lucky that we all experience exactly the same thing. You don't have to be a world champion to experience what we all experience. I experience the same thing now as I experienced when I was 9 years old and I caught my first wave. And competition was always the smallest little sliver. But I think the reason I was successful was because I loved the other stuff so much. And it's the same with Kelly Slater. You know, I was down at J Bay a few years ago, and the surf was really good for the contest, 6 to 8 feet, and it was predicted to stay around 6 to 8 feet for the next week. And I woke up early the next morning and all the pros had cleared out of town. They were all there the day before. They cleared out of town. There's only one pro left. That was Kelly Slater, and he was there because he loved it more than the rest, and that's why he's been 10 times world champion, and that's why he'll more than likely, you know, win it 11 times, because he does it for the right reason, because he loves it more. Here's someone who can leave a legacy, just like we can all leave a legacy. And we just thank you so much for authentically living your story and being willing to share it today.